Well, good morning and welcome to Portsmouth Coffee Talks morning show. I'm James M. Overton and I'm here with Thomas the Colonel Chapman and I guess Leah will be joining us shortly. Every day we rise is a great day to be alive and thanks for joining us this morning and make sure if you're joining us you like, subscribe, comment, and share on Facebook and on our YouTube channel this morning. And we're here this morning and the theme is uh, do the voters for 2024 do they have tunnel vision? That's going to be part of what we're talking about. We're talking about the events of last week. There's a lot to talk about there. So, as we talk about the voters and the tunnel vision, and it sort of split down political lines how some of the voters felt about the verdict on the Trump trial. So we're going to listen to a little bit of it, and then we're going to have our discussion this morning.
I'm so pleased that there's finally some accountability for Donald Trump. Yeah, he's evaded the law for many years, decades, and it's finally caught up to him. And also, we're fighting for democracy here. This is an election interference case. You know, it wasn't just a porn star sex case. It was an election interference case. And did you do it or not? The jury said yes.
He's actually going to increase his chances to win. He's actually going to win because it's in the public eye. They're using this judicial system just to penalize him to get him away from running for president again. Because Biden's going to construct the laws in a way where it's only going to benefit him and his people. Trump is going to benefit in a way where it's going to benefit him, but it's also going to benefit people with an opportunity coming from the bottom. Build a wall. That wall's going to protect us all. Sounds like a good idea. Yeah. My first reaction was sadness for America, sadness for Trump. And at the end of the day, we're going to increase his support like every other time they indicted him.
Very, very scary. Very scary. We're in a third world country right now. I think they're saying that have to talk to the First of all, you're too ignorant. He even says this is the case.
I mean, it's pretty crazy to see this in this moment currently because, the president's really been convicted of 34 counts in any criminal case, basically. But I'm going to keep it real as a current presidential candidate and one of the ones actually winning majority support in all states, including Democratic states, as it shows statistically. I believe that still his support level from the people is not going to go down much.
That's it for him. He's not going to be able to continue with the campaign. He has to be to run for president if he's found guilty. And then we're stuck with Biden. And Kamala Harris, that doesn't do anything for us. And has not been doing anything for us since he became president.
Well, it'll be overturned. It won't stay on appeal. All right?
I kind of worry that it'll further.
I'll go back to that a little later, but you get the idea, and we've been hearing from Trump supporters and even the ones, well, we know about the ones that are bucking for the vice presidency and where they're coming from, but you're getting a mix of some of these people, and we talked about this before, some of these people, you're not going to change their minds, but listening to some of these people, later on, some of the Trump supporters said they changed. And then if you listen between the lines, you heard some of the real reasons. You heard the lady bring up the vice president that she really didn't want, her, that he hadn't done anything for anybody, So that's the issue for some of them. They fear Kamala Harris, in the next 4 years, before the next 4 years is up, she might become president, and they can't do anything about it if Biden backs out. So, and of course we heard his talking about the countries and when he had that rant right after the trial, and as I'm mentioning some of the real reasons coming out, the countries he mentioned, Venezuela and Africa, they letting people out of prison. I mean, it's stupid to even repeat it, but letting people out of prisons and insane inside them asylums, and their crime rate has gone down because most of those people are coming over here or being shipped over here by Biden or and the country is going. I mean, how can any? Well, I was going to say, how can any sane thinking voter or person believe any of this? But when you have a cult, anything goes.
You were so correct, and I think that he's been treated with kid gloves in the court system, judicial system. And so if you get a parking ticket and go down to see the judge and want to fight your parking ticket, well, not or speeding ticket, just tell me you're running for president and see kind of action that you get. Just say that. And then so a lot of those people that you talked about, especially the one that says it fears Kamala Harris, most of those, I would say probably 99% of those opinions are voiced in race, not tension race, but in are based in just racial discrimination, and that is what Trump and his cult are all about. It is us versus the people of others and the people of color, and that's all. And it's always the people of color are the others: the Mexicans, the Venezuelans, the Haitians, anybody of color. And so anybody that speaks, he's got his billionaire friends that have come to his aid. They don't care about anything other than trying to get a big tax cut and killing all regulations that's going to taint water and the air and the foods and everything else, so they can make more money. That's all they care about. And then so they're lining up for the racist in chief. These same guys are talking about they're against the diversity, inclusion, and equity programs because it promotes equity and diversity amongst the population. They also are racist. So American people have to look at these companies that are against that and don't support them with your dollars. Don't buy their goods. Don't invest in their companies. Destroy them. And I'm saying destroy them economically. So I had to break out my newest advertising.
I was just trying to see. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you read that?
One out of three
Trump supporters.
Trump supporters are just as I can't see the bottom one.
Stupid.
Are just as justified. Are just as
stupid.
Yeah, I didn't think justified was it, Leah.
No, just as
others.
There it is.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Wear that out. Wear it proud because as you were talking and welcome, Leah. Good morning.
Good morning.
As you were talking, and I'll play a few more of those Trump people. Talking. One of the guys said Trump is going to get in there and help the people from the bottom up, and his help is going to stop somewhere at the top, at that 3%. Not from the bottom up. So that's why I said the title about the tunnel vision fits those Trumpers well, because you go on a tunnel. I even had a picture of the entrance of a tunnel, on the advertising, and you go in a tunnel, you can only see straight ahead, no left or right, just straight ahead, and that really describes some of these Trump supporters. And I'll play a few more of them, some of their comments.
Divide our country, and I think it was from the testimony I heard. It sounded like the jury really paid attention, and I think we need to honor the verdict. I'll be curious to see what the sentencing is.
Couldn't understand her, James.
Like a justice.
He's not even in jail yet, but they yelling free Trump.
Mm.
Yeah.
On the way. But when it was found guilty on all 34 counts. Job well done. Justice system in America.
I was already blue. Probably going to stay blue. Sadly, I think it will have no repercussion in Texas. I don't think Houston. I don't think Texans are going to care. Trump's our guy. Go Trump. Go red. I hope I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. Not wrong about Texas there, buddy. But you know, and Leah, you know, how do you, I mean, you've been watching, even in your busy schedule. I know you can't help but pay attention to the last week after the verdict, especially the president or the former president's or Trump's rant, and how crazy it is, and how people are still on board. You know, I mean, and the more he talks, the crazier it gets, and the more people speaking up for him, especially the people that been elected, and you would think that those people have some kind of intelligence, but no integrity. You know, you know, those two eyes. You know, they have one or the other, and they definitely don't have any integrity. And I think we can eliminate the intelligence if you know, if they are talking the way they are talking.
Yeah, all of them think that he's going to get in, and they're all vying for position once he gets in. So, and also they don't want the Trump followers to turn against them. So they figure that the only way they can stay in office is that they have to stick with him. And it's a sad thing. And to see people like Tim Scott and that other young black guy from Florida, it just hurts my heart to see those two and to hear them speak. Like one man said, I used to think Tim Scott was intelligent, but now I don't see a level of intelligence with him at all. It makes no sense in the things that he says.
Yeah, he might as well be Stephen Fletcher.
He might as well be.
Yeah.
He might as well be.
Well, you know what?
I mean, go ahead, Colonel.
Well, some of the callers across this nation and Trump supporters talking about he's going to help everybody. You can't. There is no statistical information out there that he did anything to help any of the poor people or middle class in this country while he was in office in the first 4 years. And
Colonel, he doesn't even like the poor people.
Yes.
He doesn't even like them at all. He said it. He said it out of his own mouth that he does not like those individuals.
Yes.
And for you black people, you heard him say Africa, you know, you heard him, you know, he's telling you.
Yes.
Venezuela and Africa, you know, we don't want those people, but they're coming over here and messing and destroying our country. You know, how come nobody's coming over from Sweden or you know, those countries? Well, that's where he wants them to come from if they're going to come. You know, feel right, but you know, and that's why, you know, I shake my head at black folks that are supporting him when he's just that's just like, you know, you sitting in the snake sitting right in your face. Say, I'm gonna bite you. No, you're not. I'm gonna bite you. No, you're not. But I'm a snake. No, you're not. I don't believe you're a snake. And then bite you right in the face.
You're correct. One, you talk about people of color coming over here, but he's also talked about black folks that are already in this country that are American citizen. He's already come out and says, I am going to get y'all riggers because we voted at 92% against him the last election. And we are the base of the Democratic Party. So we are enemies of the Trump state. And so he is going to unleash the Justice Department on us when he gets done, if he gets back in office. So black people, watch out. People of color, the Hispanics, watch out. Anybody of color, watch out. He is coming after you.
And did you see the one black guy who had won from the Apprentice? And the black guy, I think he raised like about $11,000, $16,000 or something like that. And the young white lady didn't raise anything, but he wanted the young black guy to share his winnings with her. And yet and still he said that the black guy was lazy and that the young white woman was pretty. And also they have tapes from The Apprentice now that I think they're supposed to be coming forth now, where
Yeah.
he actually called them the N-word on the show.
Mm.
And these tapes are supposed to be coming out now. But
Yeah,
yet
and
still, some of our people, and I still don't believe that it's the numbers that they claim it to be. I know there are those few rappers and folks like that. Was it Cardi B?
Yeah, Cardi B.
Cardi B and someone else, how they're speaking against, but they're speaking out for Trump. It's sad. It's sad when you see they don't have. I'm sure she has no idea as to what has taken place historically, but yet and still, she would be one to persuade other young people not to vote for Joe Biden in this presidential election.
Yes.
there's definitely a lack of knowing your history, and just living in today. And
Exactly.
even living in today, I can't understand why they would want to support him. It's like we've been talking about this show. He's telling you, he's looking you in your face and telling you exactly what he's going to do. So you still support him, but even more so if you knew the history of just him, the history of him, and take it to his parents, well, at least his dad. Don't know a lot about his mother, but at least his dad, and what they say, Leah, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Far from the tree.
So and it fell close to that tree when he fell off. So. Let me mention this before we go further. Mexico has just elected their first female woman president, and kind of wish her luck because during that while they were campaigning, a couple of the people that were running for president just got killed right out in broad daylight. And
this was in Mexico?
Yeah, Mexico. I mean, it's really run by the cartel or whatever, or the crime elements. And anybody that's going to take on that position, like this lady, she won. And I don't know where she is, if she's in with them and why she's still alive, but several of the candidates, they showed one where the guy came right out, he was shaking hands, and they showed the gun, and then they stopped the video. The gun right up to his head. So, and it was men and women, they were just taken out. But she's made history, so she's in the books for the history, and hopefully she'll be good for Mexico. But
that'll be the kind of life we'll have to look forward to should he come into office as president.
Yeah.
He's going after everybody. Whoever went against him, he's going to go for retribution.
Yeah. So a woman president in Mexico, Trump's definitely not going to deal with them now. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, back to Trump.
Yeah. He's going to try to rebuild this year, this wall that he never built the first time. But that wall is just a distraction.
And he's going to be angry with blacks because, look, it took Tish James out of New York. It took the DA out of New York City. It took also you're going to have my girl down in Georgia. They leave her alone. It's all black, pretty much all black women, except for one black man who has brought his demise. And if he goes for an appeal in New York with the 5 female black judges, and they're already coming after them. So the very same people he tried to put down are the very same people who had to be in judge of him. So you have to be careful the road that you tread, because you never know when you're going to come across those individuals who you're putting down constantly will be the ones who come to be the ones to serve justice on you.
Yeah, I believe he's going to go down eventually, but he's in in the meanwhile, he's going to cause a lot of damage because
He
you
is.
got those crazies out there threatening the jurors and trying to find out who they are and where they live, and the prosecutors and things like that, and people, and that happens in some cases. But his crazies out there, and he's blowing he's blowing the dog whistle for him to do it, but just enough to keep him out of it, so he can say, I can't control
Exactly.
what they do. But because who comes out and makes all those kind of statements, or has a 40-minute talk before you even sentence? And the people you're talking about is the very people that's going to sentence you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because he's so used to privilege. So I that's the only way I can explain it. He doesn't feel like anything makes sense as far as. I mean, anybody else would be quiet as a church mouse while you're waiting for sentencing, or you're trying to figure out how am I going to throw myself at the mercy of the court, or whatever I have to do to be before June 11th. He's out there blasting everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the judge is human too. So
That's right.
And that should play a big part in this sentencing.
yeah,
And he should get time. And I'm talking about into the years, and not consecutively, but run them concurrent, meaning string them all out. So he'll be in years. So he could theoretically get 4 years under each count, which should run concurrently. And then so anything less than a 30-year sentence would be an injustice to the American people.
yeah, and it's in the guidelines. It's just up to the discretion of the judge. A lot of it, as long as he follows the guidelines.
Yeah, even in these guidelines. Plus, if he is to remain free, he is a threat to those jurors, the rule of law, the judge, and America, if he's remained free on appeal. So that's the other piece, that he must be remanded to Rikers Island or whatever, where the Secret Service can protect him. He can have his own cell, but he has to wear that orange jumpsuit to match his orange makeup. And he can appeal it from jail, just like any other person in this country. Mr. Trump is a former president, but he is just an American John Q. citizen. And he has to be treated that way at least once in his lifetime. At least once. And that's the sentence that the judge should put out on him. And anything short of that, it'd be a travesty, a grave mistake, and forget all this stuff about running for president and all this other stuff, because that's a farce. Because, like I said earlier, if I get a speeding ticket, I'm going down and tell the judge I'm running in 28 or something like that. This should be held off. That's what anybody going downtown should say. I'm running for president, or I'm running some office, and you shouldn't be running. I'm running for some.
I should be protected. Yeah,
I should be protected because it's election interference.
They're saying that because of his age and the fact that he's never had any other charges against him, that they should lessen the charges. But hey, if that were you had 34 counts against you, they would care less how old you were, how many charges you may have had in the past. It would not make any difference. You still have to do the time for the crime.
Bernie Madoff was just as old, was older, and he went down the same thing.
And he's still there, right?
Oh, didn't Bernie die?
He died.
Oh, he died.
He died. Bernie died.
In jail.
In jail.
Yeah.
In jail. Just like somebody else is going to die if justice comes his way.
Yeah. And you all know, in our neighborhoods, or people in your circle, or people there's always somebody that seems like everything always happened to them, is always somebody else's fault. Just sitting there listening. And I think one time, long time ago, you said you just got frustrated with somebody because every time you were around them, they were complaining about this was happening to them and this was happening to them, and say, well, wait a minute, don't you have any good days? It sort of reminds you, and this was another thing I don't understand why people see, because ever since he's been on the scene, anything that goes against him is a fraud or fake or
he's got to holler and
because
scream like the
because
hit
other
dog.
people are going through the same justice system, and I know it's two justice systems like you talk about a lot about, Colonel, but for the most part, a lot of it, some of it works, and what works, we just have to deal with that. But we see the injustice when it's dealing with certain people. But for the most part, justice works, and especially when you get the jury of these days. Now, a long time ago, you get a jury of the good old boys, then anything could happen. But he had people on this jury that had voted for him, and they just came in there and they looked at things sensible, like they should have, whether they voted for him or not, or they were
They just looked at the facts.
looked at the facts.
I think
Oops.
The facts were clear.
Yeah.
It was a great prosecution, and it was laid out A, B, C, D, just in line 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. And not even a Trump supporter could have, unless they were lying, could have said that he was not guilty with that. Even that, even in his previous life, Trump says, here's a case in point. If you didn't go before if you went to court and you didn't testify for yourself, you probably was guilty, even though it's not part of, you don't have to do that, because in the Constitution, we have pieces where you can't self-incriminate. But he's also said if he did testify, he would incriminate himself and he would perjure himself. He knew
he said it himself.
Guilty. He was
Because
guilty.
he couldn't get up there and not lie.
Yeah.
Because some of the questions they would ask him,
yeah,
he would have to lie because to cover up the lies he's already told. So he knew, that wouldn't have been a good idea. But he keeps saying that he wanted to do that to try to make himself look like, hey, I don't have nothing to hide. I'll testify. But they wouldn't let me, No, you just saw the light that wouldn't have worked.
Yes. And it's always pushing stuff down the road. And just like he talks about all the policy he's going to do. And I'm going to come out with a policy on abortion. I'm going to come out with a policy on Social Security in 2 weeks. I'm going to have a great policy.
2 weeks haven't come yet.
You remember when he was president and we were waiting for that health plan?
2 weeks.
He said, I got a health plan. He said it'll be in 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks will come. He said it's coming, and he left office never exposing or showing us that his health plan, because he knew what we had in place, that Obama set in place, was the best thing for us at the time. Whether it was perfect or not, was the best thing for, especially a lot of people. The rich didn't have to worry about her plan. I mean, you don't have to worry about hospital bills or anything like that.
Yeah.
So,
well,
and they want him back in there.
Yeah.
All he wants is revenge and get back in there and be king.
That's it.
And not leaving.
That's all.
In 4 years, he had one signature piece of legislation, which actually was not by him. He signed, but it was written by Paul Ryan. He put a few touches in for himself and some of his buddies, and that was the tax cut law that the Republicans still say is going to be tax neutral, but it's been costing this country trillions. And they've already come out and said that they were going to put this they're going to renew it, try to make it permanent, which forever will put this country on a financial downward spiral, which will be forcing to cut all of these programs that help people, education, all the food stamps, and anything to help people are going to be out. We won't be able to afford them. They'll upsize on the military, and the military budgets will go out the wings, and they'll build buildings and build stuff that the military does not need. But they are just going to shift money from things that need for helping for people to their boys that are just ripping off the treasury. And so he's never done anything for anybody and never will. But that retribution piece is a scary piece, especially if you have a Justice Department and you have judges, which he put out, I think it was like 288 of them. And if you look at all the laws that were that have come before them, they have been overturned, and crookedness, they're always with a Trump judge. I was looking at the Hunter Biden's had a with the Justice Department. Yes, he has a simple misdemeanor that should have been thrown out, or either was just saying I was wrong because I bought this gun. And we always talk about his Second Amendment rights for everybody else, but he doesn't have them because he's the president's son. Well, the Justice Department struck a deal with the Hunter Biden's lawyers. The judge that threw that out first accepted it, but then got pressure from the GOP. Was what? A Trump judge. So they carried this case all the way to California in district court and found another Trump judge to hear this case. That his court hearing starts today. But you look at the pattern here of Trump judges. There's none of them are worth their grain of salt out there. They're all politicians.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
had no experience in being an attorney either before they became a judge.
they're just put there to serve him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To serve his purpose and people like him.
Yeah.
But Colonel, don't you think it's interesting that, and tell me if I'm correct or not, if I had a felony on my record, I could not serve in the military. Am I correct?
Right.
But yet and still, this man can have a felony. He can be over the military. Now, how ironic is that? Does it mean they're going to change the rules of the military now that those with felony can serve?
Well, he'll change the military because he'll say that all those skinheads down in Georgia and Alabama and Mississippi and all of them will be running the military. They'll be coming in with droves.
Yeah, all those people that's not allowed now will be allowed.
Will be allowed in to be carried guns, to be trained killers to come out here. And so when you walk out your house, and so we get out of this show, we'll be able to walk out the house, and because they won't have a free press anymore, we'll be locked up.
Mm-hmm. Like Russia, did you freeze, Colonel?
Yeah, it looks like he's frozen.
Yeah. Okay, he'll probably be back a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, and I'll switch just a little bit, and I'll tell all the people watching that might not be from Portsmouth. We are Portsmouth Coffee Talk, but we do talk about national issues, and I just wanted to go to the local right quick because on the 15th will be the deadline for all the candidates that's going to be candidates for the city council seats and the school board seats. And right now, I believe it's about 11, and I'd just like to appeal to the people, you know, just take your time and vet all these candidates, especially the incumbents, because they have a record where you can sort of look back and see what they've done. And if you've been paying attention, you know, because everything's going to look rosy these next few months leading up to November. But you have to sort of look at the whole picture, and the new candidates, really look at them and the talking points that are usually out there about I support education, I support economic development. That's fine and that's good. We like to know, but it's going to be other questions that we need to ask these candidates. So you can sort of with the 11 candidates that are out there, I think that you can sort of make the list smaller by some of the questions you ask, you know, when you're trying to make a decision. And I understand there might be some your favorites up there, somebody that was in school with you. So I'm glad you're running. I'm gonna support them because I went to school. But you know, we still need to take a chance because we never know until we put someone or vote someone in office, how they will serve. But you can get a pretty good idea in the beginning if you vet them properly and take your time in doing it. There's plenty of time to do that. Find out what the list is, and just look at these candidates and make sure, you know, if you think change is necessary, then make sure you put the when you change, don't put the same. If you're looking for change, don't put the same kind of people back in there, and that can
Exactly.
happen too. And you have the same situation that you trying to change. But if you think the incumbent should stay, you know, that's your choice as well. But make that choice on, you know, how they serve you the last 4 years, and not how what they're saying these next few months. You
And
know,
also, and
because
also look at
everything's
who
going to
all,
sound good now, and I
yeah,
did this, I voted for this, but you know, it was some other things that went on the past 4 years that, you know, it might be of a concern for you of make keeping that person in there. And I'm not telling you to vote them out one way or another because everybody deserves a chance. But I'm just trying to encourage you to take your time and look at these candidates.
mm-hmm,
You know, the school board as well. I think the school board is mostly is 5 position, and most of those are people running for re-election. Am I correct?
except for two. I think Dr. Walker and Annette McSwain are the two non-incumbents who are running.
Okay, and it is one off because
Sarah Duncan
Edmonds
Hines.
Thomas is leaving, so
And Sarah
her
Duncan, and I don't
that
think
seat
Sarah
is
Duncan Hines is running either. I have not seen anything on her running.
okay. So yeah, and the same there. You know, if you've been paying attention to the school board and what was going on, so most of those candidates are running for re-election. So you know, if you're satisfied with what they've done, you know, keep them there too. But just make sure you just check it out if the school system is your interest, you know, and you don't have to have children in the school system to be concerned about what goes on because they are developing, you know, our future. So it should be a concern for anybody, not just parents, but everyday citizens, what goes on, how our children are taught, and what goes on in our school system. And we can't always let the national issues trickle down, you know, because they not may not be always favorable. You know, the national issues like banning books and everything that might not be the best thing for our city. You know, we had the librarian on here and talked about the importance of you know, reading and having the proper books in our school libraries in order for our students to expand their minds.
Hmm.
I know you agree with that. I think you agree with that, Neil.
I do agree with that most
Since you're
heartedly.
around the students so much, you know.
Reading and writing are crucial elements that our kids need to uh, sharpen up on. Those two
And,
arenas.
and I'll ask you this too. You're around the students, the school a lot, and that talent show was probably. I saw some of the tapes, and there was some really talented uh,
Talented young
uh,
people.
young people there. And the guy that played the guitar won. I've seen him in the gym. I think
Yeah,
sometimes he
Lee.
plays with the band in the gym, but
Yeah, Lee.
he
Lee is
really
amazing.
deserved that victory. But you know, it's good, and you can talk about how resilient and how smart and how uh, amazing our students are in our schools, which we don't hear about that much. But what I see most of the time, because I'm around schools a little bit, I just see amazing students. Not
Oh
all
yeah.
these things that make the news, but I see
Hmm.
amazing students that have a voice. I mean, and, you know, if you sit down and talk to them, you shouldn't be surprised, but you might be surprised at what they are aware of, and they're watching us, like you always say. They're watching us.
Hmm. Yeah, we have some amazing students, and that's why I try so diligently to put on my page any positive things that are going on where the young people are involved because so much negative information is out there. Anytime we can highlight anything positive that's going on with our youth, I think it's crucial that we do that, so that people can see that there are young people striving to do things, do great things, and 9 times out of 10 they're going to be successful. Uh, there are a lot of great things going on with the students, and I mean, you even go back to Douglas Park Elementary School. I love the way they're showcasing all the great things that they're doing with those students at Douglas Park Elementary School, all the ways that they're engaging the youth there, So
Mhm.
we have to tell our story, people. We cannot keep allowing the media just to showcase those young people who decide to make the wrong decisions. We have to showcase the young people who are doing the right thing and make an attempt to do the right thing, and being involved in the right programs. We have to make sure that we tell their stories as well.
Especially at that age.
Yes.
And that's a great age to start, And even as I mentioned, how intelligent high school students are, even the younger people are really. You can sit down and hold a conversation with them
Exactly.
about certain issues, but you have to remember to let them be kids, let them
Hmm.
be kids as well. So that's why it's important too to make sure you make the right choices with the school board, because they make a lot of decisions that affect our children, and we've seen throughout the state and other states where certain type of candidates get on the school board and make some really drastic changes or take us back like that. In Northern Virginia, was it, where the school board put the names back on the schools of
Yep. Put the
Confederate
names back
soldiers?
on the Confederate soldiers
You
back
know,
on the schools.
I mean, who walks back like that?
Hmm. But that's what you're going to get if you don't get the right people, if you don't put the right people in place. And it's important to not only let them sell you the terminology that they expect, that you want to hear, but find out what is your vision. What is your vision for the school? What do you see? Where are we heading? What is your vision for the city? We don't have visionaries. We need visionaries on the city council as well as the school board. People can see taking the city to a new level, something beyond condos and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get and places to wash your car washes. We need some visionaries on there who can see. When you look at Suffolk and you look at Chesapeake and you look at Norfolk and look at all the great things that are going on in those cities, why is it that we are left behind?
Yeah,
Why is it that we don't have the vision that those city leaders have to bring Portsmouth to a better place than what it is? Um, we have a lot of work to do.
yeah, and it's critical that we make or we make good decisions in putting our leadership in a position, because they make decisions, especially in Portsmouth, where we don't have a lot of land, we don't have a lot of options like Suffolk. They can take chances in some instances, but I don't think they have. They make good choices, and especially now, we have to make sure we have the right people on council. With finally, we've been able to look at the waterfront where the jail
Waterfront,
is to be able to
yes,
be developed, and that's going to be a once in a lifetime uh, decision of what goes on
exactly.
there, and making sure you have the highest and best use of that land uh, in real estate terms. That's you know making sure you have the highest and best use of that land, and if you have people up there, that have other agendas, or then we're looking at another 20 years of the building just sitting there, with nobody in it. So let's make the right choice, people, and make sure we get people up there that's gonna govern, right? And I'm not saying the people that are there now are not doing that. If you think they deserve to continue, in their positions, you know, I just hope it's an informed decision that you make, that you have studied everything and say, okay, I want them to stay there because I think they're good for us, or
Hmm.
I want them, I want to change because it's different. So just think about all the things that are coming up that that's going to be done. That's going to have a major impact on our city using land, valuable land that we don't have much of, and that waterfront. You know, whatever decision is made there is going to be critical to our economic development position in the city of Portsmouth. What we put there has to work because if it's a mistake, we can't. It'll take years and years to correct that mistake once
Exactly.
it's there.
Exactly.
So have they already? They've already have they permanently moved? It was just because of the fire, or have they permanently moved all the inmates to
They've
the
moved.
regional building?
They've moved everyone to the regional jail, but it's still a work in progress.
Hmm.
It's still a work in progress. I think council just took the vote last Tuesday in reference to purchasing the regional jail. So it's still a work that has to take place before that has, before that will be finalized.
Yeah, and I want to make this point too. Council made a decision to raise their salaries. So
Yes.
I want you to take this into consideration too, because it's a nice bump up there. So you want to make sure that you put people in there that they're going to really work and earn that salary. You know, that they're going to put the time in, and because I've seen people in that position not making that much, and school board members they don't make half as much as what the council make. And you see them everywhere. You see them involved and sacrificing that time. And it's a sacrifice. Whoever holds the office, you know, it's your family and everything. So you have to know that going in. And you want them to have time for their family, but it, it's probably getting to the point where that might be a full time job for some people in there. So hopefully they're not just going for the money, but if they get in there, that they're treated like that and know that they're obligated to the people because of the the money they're making now. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
I agree with Mark. Uh, he said it should have been a referendum.
Yes. Yes, I agree with
Let the
that.
citizens decide
They
if
should
it was
not
time for a
decide on
raise.
their own raise.
Right, and especially with what we've been seeing, the last few years, because it's been some, you know, and not putting down the council, but we see what we see. It's calm now, which is always calm when it's close to election. But we've
Yes.
seen some dog fights up there on council, and I guess we've seen that over the years, Leah. But not. I've been around a while. I haven't seen it like I've
Not
seen
like
it
we've seen
these
recently.
last few years, and
Not
that's
like
just
we've
my
seen
experience. I
recently.
don't know anybody else's,
Hmm.
and I've seen a lot of councils and been up close and personal with a lot of councils, and
Yes.
I've seen some disagreements off camera, but then not so much on camera like we've been seeing. So uh, I really don't think that's necessary, and I think that should be taken under consideration too when you're vetting, and especially with the raise. So we're paying out of our tax dollars a lot more for these candidates. That's all the reason to really uh, get in there and vet the candidates, because we're paying them more. It's coming out of our tax dollars.
Exactly. So look like
So we
Colonel
get,
look
yeah,
like
Colonel,
Colonel
I guess he's
he tried.
connecting.
He tried
Kept
a couple of
trying.
times.
Yeah, I tried to bring him in a couple of times, but anyway, uh, as we getting close to the time, talk about the event you had that the alumni has, and I had another I had committed to be down at the library with the authors that were featured down there. But Saturday you had the annual alumni
Scholarship brunch.
scholarship brunch. So how was that? As we talk about amazing students, that's always a, a place where you can really see what we're talking about as far as the amazing students. So how was that? I know it was
It
a
went
great
over.
event.
It was very, very good, and I was so thankful this year that we had one, two, three young men this year to apply. One, two, one, two, three, three young men this year to apply, and this year through the generosity of the alumni membership, members of our alumni who we got one young man, George Jones, George and Amber Jones. George, for the past 3 years, he has given over $5,000 to a student each year as a scholarship. He and his wife Amber, and we have another young man, Demetrius Worrell. Demetrius, I think, was from the class of 2009, if I'm not mistaken. And every year he gives a mystery scholarship to a student, and this year he gave scholarships to our four um, choral members who sang for us at the event. We have out of 8 members of the chorus who participated in the program, 4 were seniors, and he in turn gave each of those 4 seniors $500. So we were happy to be able to give a total of over $18,000 in scholarships this year. We also had a young lady, Tania Nashe Morgan. She was a young lady who was a soccer player. She was an honor student. She was doing dual enrollment at TCC, and she died in February of this year. So we were able also to award her family the scholarship that she would have received should she have had applied for the alumni scholarship. So it was a very good program. It was a very, very well attended program. Our young people are amazing. They are so amazing. We had Ray Sayoto. We had Nasia Stewart. We had 4 young men. We had Anthony Dixon Jr., Mr. Batten, Arenzo Batten, our 4 young men. And then we had Angel Brimley Jones, Janaya Loveless, Raven Jones, and also the honoree, the young lady who had passed. So we were thankful that we were able to give this money to these young people so that they can
Yeah.
go on and do well. And we know they're going to do well because they're standing on the shoulders of greatness, and we know they're going to take that greatness on with them and do what they need to do so they can come back and do what we're doing in the Alumni Association now.
Yeah. So what are some of the schools that some of those
They're going
recipients
to
are going to?
Ray is going to VCU. I mean, going to University of Virginia. Batten is going to Norfolk State. Brimley is going to Norfolk State. Nasir Stewart is going to Hampton University. Anthony Dixon is going to ODU. And Raven Jones is going to Virginia State. Am I correct? I may have hers incorrect. But they've all chosen great schools that they're going to, and we know they're
And that scholarship from the alumni would definitely be of help. You know, just like we
exactly.
try to encourage the students to apply for all the scholarships that are out there. You know, and make
Apply
sure, you
for
know, because
everything.
you know,
That's for
even if you
sure.
get a full ride, you still need that extra money. You know, those little $500 and not little, but those $500 checks, those
The book scholarship. I don't know.
$1,000 checks, the books,
Yeah.
or just to you know, if you get a full ride, the food and lodging might be included, but you get hungry in between. You know, those times where the when the cafeteria is over. Take it from me.
Yes.
I used to,
Yes.
you know, the cafeteria, the last meal, and at night when you burning that midnight oil, you need a little money to be able to go out and get you something. Or, you know, most schools have, just like Norfolk State has Chick-fil-A in there. Is that Chick-fil-A Norfolk State has on
I
campus?
I assume that they do. I need to go over there and see.
Yeah, I think I went.
Yeah.
They have one of those major. A lot
Uh-huh.
of colleges have that now. You know, those companies are on the campus. So,
Yes.
you know, they
Yes.
have to pay when they go there. So that's that extra.
Uh-huh.
So that money is important. So apply for those scholarships, no matter how big or small they are, you know.
And people who are donating scholarships seem to think that you have to donate thousands of dollars, but you really don't. We had a number of our graduates who uh, gave book scholarships. Book scholarships can be $50, $100, $200,
Hmm.
and this year we partnered with a young group of young men. G.A. Brown is one of them. The other young man is Mr. DeGreek. They have a foundation called the Ed Brown Foundation, and these are young men who are looking to work to fight against some of the problems our young people are experiencing psychologically, to help them to advance into the community. And this year, the Ed Brown Foundation, they gave $500. That can be a book scholarship for a student. So the amount does not matter, but it's important that we give back so that our students can be successful, and also so that our students can see that we do support them and we appreciate them when they are doing the right things. It's important that we let them know that when you're doing the right things, you have people who will stand behind you in support of you.
Yeah, let me give a shout out to Cassandra Dillard, who is a union grad. Thanks for watching. And Shannon Glover is watching. I hope he's still on here. Colin Jacobs, another union grad, and uh, Councilwoman Tina Vick, who went to
Tina,
VCU. I think when you almost said somebody got to VCU, I know she got excited there for a minute, but
Miss Tina,
VCU is her alma mater, and
Miss Tina
she
and I
also
got
went
on.
to Ferguson High School
Yes, yes.
over there in Newport News.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, well, thanks for giving that report, and you know the alumni is always looking out, and we encourage other alumni. I see Wilson has just put together an alumni. They were in the parade.
Yes.
Uh, I think they got wet like you all did, Leah. But
Yes, they
I
were
see
right in
you all.
front. They
You
were
all
right in
had your
front of us.
umbrellas, so
You know how it is. They always put Norcom last because they know people pick up their chairs after Norcom goes by. So,
yeah, yeah.
so, so we got the brunt
But
of the rain. We got
but
all
the
of the
rain
rain.
caught you. But that was a good parade too. So that's. Do you remember what? That's the what number consecutive parade is that? It's in
Oh,
the top of the United States
it is
as far as
the longest
consecutive
running
parades.
parade in the
Mm,
nation. It was over 100 and some years old, they
yeah,
say. Uh-huh. The longest running Memorial Day parade in the nation.
yeah. Tina says, "Great seeing you, Leah. Did you see that?"
Great seeing you, Tina, as well.
Yeah.
My co-honoree from the Black Child Development Institute. And let Tina know I'm still waiting for her daughter to move to Portsmouth so that we can collaborate on this side of the water.
Is that her daughter's plans to move to Portsmouth?
You said she was moving to Portsmouth. She said she loved the energy of the Portsmouth people when we went to the Black Child Development Institute program in Hampton. She said she loved the energy of the Portsmouth family. So tell her to
We
come
cer-
on, be a part of us.
we certainly have plenty of energy. But
That's for
anyway,
sure.
thank you everybody for watching today. And we lost the colonel. We started out talking national news. Of course, we talked about the Trump trial and the tunnel vision of some of the people that are supporting him. If you support him, I guess that's your right. But here on Portsmouth Coffee Talk, we we uh, we lean a different way. So, but we encourage you to, if you disagree with us, come up here and let's have a conversation. I challenged somebody on Facebook the other day. On their page, they were talking a certain way. I said, "Well, come up here and talk on our show about it. Let's have a conversation about it." You know, so I'm waiting to hear from them and see if
But
they
people feel more
accept the
comfortable.
challenge. But
They feel more
this is the
comfortable
place.
just doing it on their page. They don't want to come out and talk to individuals about what they are thinking about. So
That seems to be the case because this is about the second time I directly challenged them to come on. You know, because some of the things they were saying, you know, let's talk about this. You know, because I want
mhm.
to understand why you
Yeah.
feel that way. And a
Yes.
lot of other people might want to understand too. And you
Mhm.
might make me understand. I might feel a certain way after you explain why. But
Mhm.
we can't go back and forth typing stuff in. We need to have a conversation like this, face to face. But anyway, Leah, thanks. And any last words from you before we tune out today and you get your
Yeah.
week started?
Get my week started. I like to say congratulations to all the young people who will soon graduate within the next 2 weeks. All the graduates from Wilson, Churchland, Manor, Norcom. Well, not Wilson. Wilson no more. Manor, Churchland, and Norcom, as
Yeah.
well as the graduates from the other cities. I want to say congratulations to you. Congratulations on your achievements. Now go forth and make your mark on the world, which we know that you're going to do. We expect great things from each and every one of you. So enjoy this, your special time. Also,
And the graduates over on the peninsula,
yes,
since Tina is
any
watching,
peninsula,
on the peninsula.
Norfolk, Chesapeake, wherever you are, we wish you
Virginia
well.
Beach,
So,
and all the kindergarten graduates, because my
exactly.
granddaughter Zuri graduated from kindergarten, and she'll be going to the first grade in the fall. So we
Wow.
uh we ready for that. So all the kindergarten graduates that's coming up or that already graduated, congratulations to you as well. Uh,
Yes. So
you're getting ready to start a new venture in your life, in your
toddler
young life.
time, Toddler Time Development Center will have their graduation on
This
on
this
Saturday
weekend, right?
coming. This
Yeah, this
Saturday
weekend.
coming,
Yeah,
and
on the
and
8th.
we know it's going to be an amazing event. So we're looking forward to that as well.
Well, let me ask you, where the Portsmouth schools graduation going to be at ODU again this year, like they've been
It's
in the
going to be at
past?
OD. It's going to be at ODU,
Okay,
and I think Norcom is the first school to graduate this year.
so
So it'll be an early graduation, a really early graduation.
okay, so all three schools will be consecutively
Yes,
done.
yes.
Northern first. Okay,
Uh-huh. So we're just looking forward to all the great things that are going to take place. Norcom has an award ceremony coming up on this Tuesday night to honor those students who have made their academic achievements. So that should be nice. And
okay.
also,
Is that open to
let me check
or is
and
it
see, James, and I'll let you know.
okay?
But that's Tuesday night, and also Tuesday night at 7 o'clock is the last alumni meeting uh, until September. So if you are out there, come out to the alumni meeting. It's in the library at 7 o'clock at IC Norcom High School. It is the last alumni meeting this year before the new school year begins.
Okay, and don't forget, in the fall, Northam's homecoming, the tailgate. So start planning now. The class of '72. We're planning on getting a spot this year, hopefully, and
Get your spot
be
early
out.
because if you wait too
Yeah,
late, you won't get a spot on the
I
yard.
heard, because every year it grows larger and larger, and
It does. It
they're
does.
gonna have to. I know they're gonna have add some spots or something this year, but you're gonna have to get your spots early. So as soon as we found out, I think we got a tentative date where it might be on in the first part of October, the
Well, I heard it
second.
was November 2nd, but I'm trying to get
Yeah,
that. I'm trying to
yeah.
get that
Want to get
finalized by the AD.
confirmation on that,
Yeah.
because that's what we got. Because our class, we want to know so we can
Yes.
find out. But we
Waiting,
definitely gonna be there.
waiting for the AD
Class
for the
assembly.
confirmation.
And Tina, come over.
And bring your daughter, Tina. Tina Vick, bring your daughter over. You're gonna have an experience of a lifetime, Tina.
Yeah, and wear your Ferguson colors. Okay, thanks everybody. We appreciate you
Oh,
coming. My
James,
battery.
well, we'll be back on before then, but don't forget about the Truxton reunion, which would the Truxton Community 105th reunion, which will take place the weekend of June 22nd.
Yeah, don't forget that it's a new date for it, and we're trying to get Chester on here before that happens to give us another recap or update on what'll be going on that day. I think he's still trying to gather some things, so we'll get him up here as soon as we can.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate
Thank
it. And
you.
take care. Remember, we're here for our voice, our community, and our future. And make
Yes.
sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share on our YouTube page. And we'll see you next time. We'll see you this Thursday. Take care.